As a run demonstration, so pretty exciting for all of you. Probably knew what a cheetah was before you came to the park. Thankfully to a wonderful book or a documentary that they're absolutely gorgeous spotted cat, most popular, prominent populations in Africa. But to be able to see one right in front of you, making that eye contact, seeing them do what they do every day, but also running, which they are the fastest land animal. Again, pretty exciting for all of you, for us as trainers, and I believe even our female cheetah by the name of Kabisa, who you just saw respond to a name call. So Kabisa is going to be running for us this morning. She is a 3-year-old female, soon to be 4 in October, so very, very soon she'll be 4 years old. We do everything with what we call positive reinforcement training. So what you just got to see there was us practicing every day, having them respond to a name call and following up that with reinforcement. So as you saw, she reacted to her trainer, allowing us to have her go back behind the scenes and come out and set up some of the equipment that we need to be able to facilitate this run. Now what we try and do here at our park, knowing that every day in Africa is not going to be the same for a cheetah, is to have it very different. So whether they're practicing a run behavior, maybe we are practicing more of a medical behavior back behind the scenes, or just an opportunity for all of you to see us building our relationship out here with our cheetahs. It is very, very important for them. We know from experience that having your environment change, having things come at you differently, it does allow you to grow. It's very physically and mentally stimulating. We definitely want to mimic that for our cheetahs. Now when we talk about in Africa, of course, cheetahs are running completely for survival, whether it's going after prey or that they're avoiding any sort of conflict. Here at the park, they get their food at the end of the day no matter what. So we have to be very creative, we have to be fun and exciting, so that when we open up that gate, hoping that Kabisa will come through to start the run, she's very excited about that. And that definitely is built upon our relationship with them. Of course, it's going to be myself and another trainer occupying the same space with Kabisa. And that is not something that we take lightly. We do know that we have a lot of resources and a lot of safety elements that are in place for us to be able to do that. Also, when I talk about an outstanding relationship, we're looking at spending at least 2 years with that animal, really building up that trusting relationship before we're able to physically do what you're seeing in front of you. And going back to the fact of how we do that, we practice not only at our sister parks like SeaWorld, but here at Busch Gardens, whether you're watching us interact with the cheetahs, or maybe you're watching what we call a protected contact training session with our elephants, our tigers, our lions, is what we call positive reinforcement and choice-based training. Now, positive reinforcement is a technique that can work wonders. We, as a zoo facility, are very, very proud that zoos are one of the front runners in kind of getting that positive reinforcement technique out there. And what we're finding is a lot of veterinarians are instilling that in the homeowners that have pets, like cats and dogs, to really use it on a daily basis. You can work with it using your husband, your wives, your children. The basis behind it is that you're reinforcing the behaviors that you want to see. Giving them the opportunity to practice those on a daily basis at repetition, not only they become very skilled at it, but your relationship makes it exciting too. So again, you're going to see those behaviors that you want again and again, and not necessarily behaviors that you don't want to see. So what you'll never see us doing here at Busch Gardens is using any sort of dominance, control, no punishment, no negative reinforcement. We look at reinforcing what we want to see and ignoring what we don't want to see. Now with that comes what we call choice-based training. And that's where you're actively getting them involved. So basically from Kabisa responding to the trainer's name call. If she at any point wanted to ignore it for whatever her choice was, something out here had her attention, just not feeling it, that is perfectly fine. But us as trainers know that we need to be mindful of that and figure out, all right, kind of go back a few stages and really reinforce that name call. Now what the trainers out here are letting me know is that the equipment for us to get Kabisa out here to run is in place. You may have noticed a trainer walk down the habitat with a green streak. It was led back to this boulder that you see is now covered over. There is a battery and a wheeled motor in there generating the power for the pulley system. Antonio's going to be operating that machine. So some of the things that he's looking for, that all of you can look for as we get Cabisa out here, is that one, they are an animal that generally stalks. So when we open up the gate and she sees the feathers moving, that is the moving target. We've trained her to chase. She's going to take off after it. Now, as she's running, we know that they are dedicated and they're focused on it when they're visually looking at it. Their bodies are pretty low to the ground because they're digging those powerful limbs and claws into the ground. Also, you're going to see that tail working to keep her balance, so pay attention to that too. The hardest part for Antonio is that it's off of a remote. I love it. So count down loudly with me. Here you go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I missed her. There she goes. Oh, she keeps running. Cool.
Very nice. I do love the audience participation there. Rooting her on. That is awesome. So you can notice that she jumped over the feathers a little bit, but went right back to catch her up, of course. And what I'm going to do is just give her some reinforcement here for doing a job well done. So this raw meat, of course, has all the nutrients that she does need. And based upon our training and our experience, of course, she understands that she comes out here and runs, did a good job chasing after those feathers. I'm going to give her some food right here on top of those feathers as well. Again, drawing attention to those, and then have her move on with me. So this is where we talk about that choice-based training. You'll notice that, of course, I'm not going to go over there and take those feathers away from her. We are trained in reference to her making that decision to come away from it, and then reinforcing her for that behavior that we do want to see. Now, as I'm interacting with her out here, you'll also notice that I am giving her some touch reinforcement, basically the ability of touching her all the way from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail if I so choose. And that is specifically because we are their caretakers and their providers, so we want to make sure that if anything happens to them, either emergency or routinely, that we are able to assist our 5 veterinarians that are based out of here with any of those procedures. And of course, she would definitely be calm and comfortable with that. The reason I emphasize that as well is because you can see that I'm occupying the same space with her. I'm very close to her and touching her. And she does look very cute and cuddly, but she still is a wild animal. And the big problem with exotics, lions, tigers, or cheetahs, is that people do have that admiration for them, and they do imagine that I would love to have one of those in my household. Trust us, when the trainers that work here, we love what we do, but we do understand that by no means is it appropriate to have an exotic animal in a household. And the major impact for cheetahs in the Middle East is that they are seen of a status symbol. So what's happening to be able to acquire those cheetah cubs is they're taking them straight out of Africa, and those cubs normally do not survive to the age of 2. So you can see where that's definitely going to impact their conservation status numbers. So what I'm doing right now is just reinforcing her with a little bit of fluids. That is a big myth within the training world, that to be able to have this sort of drive or interaction, that you are, of course, denying them food or giving them a major food drive. What we do is we find all different sorts of reinforcers. So this is basically just some chicken broth put into a squirt bottle, and as you can see, she absolutely loves it. So we are always trying to find that variety for them so that they don't know what to expect. And you can see, of course, that attention that she has because of those feathers. Now, a little bit more I wanted to ask you guys. Do you have any questions about Cabisa?